Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mike, and today we are going to do a Q&A session because I really think it's a great way to stay in touch with you guys. We are growing so quickly and the Drone Supremacy community is getting better and better, but also bigger. And that means that more of you guys are actually trying to ask me some questions, or you need some answers to some problems that you're experiencing. And that's why I decided to answer some of them in this video. To be honest, I received way more questions than I expected, so I won't be able to answer all of them, but of course I will try to answer as many as I can before this video gets too long and boring for some of you. Starting off with the question, do you still like the DJI Spark, and is it worth it for a non-commercial point of view? Absolutely, I love this drone. If you follow my channel, you know I'm a huge fan of that drone, and even though it's not anything spectacular spec-wise, I really think this is one of the best drones out there just for people that are not really into editing too much, or just for casual flyers. I think the Spark is just amazing, and as a matter of fact, I used the Spark in my previous video, which you can check out in my recent videos. It's still an amazing drone. I really think it's a great purchase, and it's so cheap that you don't really have a reason not to buy it. The next question is, should I use transitions in my drone videos, and if yes, which can I use? Well, I can say both yes and no, because using too many transitions in your videos could be a huge turnoff for the viewer. And if the viewer is paying too much attention to your transitions and not so much to your video, then it's just not a good idea to use them. But I personally like to use transitions every now and then, maybe on some crucial points in the video to make it a bit more interesting. And I really like the transitions from motionvfx.com. This is not sponsored or anything else. I just like the products that they sell. They are quite pricey, to be honest, but they're very worth it. They have a lot of different transition packs, so feel free to browse motionvfx.com and you can see for yourself which ones you like. The next question is color grading easy hacks using D-Log-M. Well, it's not really a hack, but the best way to quickly color grade your footage is to use a LUT, of course. There are many LUTs available for the D-Log-M color profile. I also made one, you can check it out in the description, but it's a great easy way to just apply some color to the flat color profile that you have, and just then you can tweak it a little bit. But even if you don't, it's a very easy way to color the footage and just give it a lot more pop and more details in the highlights and the shadows. The next question is, what is the best drone for solo people who need drone footage but don't have a ton of time or money to drop into it? I feel like I'm going to repeat myself, but this is the perfect description of a user of the DJI Spark, or if you want a bit more quality, then maybe the DJI Mavic Air. Those two drones, they are not as expensive as the Mavic 2 Pro or the Phantom 4 Pro, so definitely one of those two drones could be ideal for you. Next, we have actually 3 questions, and let's start with the first. Why bother with Nd Non Polarized Filters when you can have all NdPL filters and switch them to no polarization position when you do not need polarization? Well, that's easier said than done. Actually, it's a lot of hassle trying to position the polarized filter properly, at least for me. And if I'm just looking for an easy way to capture some video, then I would just put the regular ND filter, the non-polarized version, and use that. But I'm actually trying to incorporate polarized filters a lot more in my footage. It's just, I think it takes a bit more time to set it up correctly. Even if you are saying you can just switch it to a different position so it's not polarized, it doesn't work like that. At least not for me. The second question you are asking is, what is the best software to correct insane lens distortion introduced by Mavic 2 Pro in photo mode? Well, the best software, of course, is Photoshop or Lightroom. I suggest you to use Lightroom to edit your photo the way you want it to look color-wise. And then maybe in Photoshop you can tweak it a bit, you can warp it, or you can just crop it so it fits the dimensions that you're going for. But I think those are the best two programs that you can use for that. And your final question is, what is the best alternative to Adobe Premiere or After Effects without subscription model? Which software has the best color grading? I wouldn't say any software has the best color grading because they're using different tools to achieve the same thing. But personally, I'm quite happy with Final Cut Pro 10. Of course, that's only for Apple machines, but if you're looking for a software that is going to work on a Windows machine without using a subscription-based model, then you can always check out DaVinci Resolve. I haven't used it personally, but I know many people that are actually quite happy with that software, and it's completely free as far as I know, so give it a try. The next question is recommendations of ND filters for the Mavic Air. That's easy. Polar Pro is always my #1 recommendation. Anything that they sell is just amazing in terms of quality. They're a bit more expensive, of course, but ND filters, the Cinema Series ND filters for the Mavic Air are one of the best I've ever tried. And also, if you're looking for long exposure filters, then you can use the Freewell filters. They're really good. They're a bit cheaper, so that's a great thing because you won't be using long exposure photography every single time you fly. So it makes sense to get some cheaper filters to see if they work out for you. But I think Freewell for long exposure, and for regular footage, Polar Pro. The next question we have is, why are DJI customer services so difficult to deal with? I think this is far too overplayed by now. Many people are saying the same thing, just repeating what they have heard from other people, I think, because I've been using DJI services for more than 3 years now, and I've never had any negative feedback to give them. I've always loved their customer service. They've always been very helpful, very quick to respond, and it's not because I'm a YouTuber, because they didn't know who I am when I was talking to them. So I really don't know what to say. I've never had any issues with the customer service. So I don't know what to say here. Next question we have is, Mavic Air still a good buy for travel drone in your opinion? I have both Mavic 2 Pro and the Air. I keep my Air in my carry-on wherever I travel just in case. Yes, I agree completely. I think the Mavic Air is one of the best drones out there when it comes to portability, and if you want to carry it wherever you go with you, then of course the Air makes a lot more sense than, let's say, even the Spark or the Mavic 2 Pro. The Air just takes so little space, it's absurd. I think it's the greatest portable drone out there. It's just amazing for that. Brian asks, are there any Black Friday deals going on or coming up for the Mavic 2 Zoom? I don't really think we're going to see any Black Friday deals on the Mavic 2 Zoom, at least not from DJI directly. I have been notified by DJI that they're preparing some Black Friday deals, which of course I will let you know about as soon as I have more information. They should be available very soon, but I don't think we are going to see discounts on any of the Mavic 2 drones because they are so new, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to discount them just a couple of months after releasing them. So stay tuned for that video, which is going to be uploaded very soon as I have more information. But don't get your hopes too high, because I don't really think we're going to see any Mavic 2 specific Black Friday deals. Since winter is coming soon and there is probably gonna be a lot of snow sometimes, what do you think are the steps to prepare to film in these conditions? I don't think there is a special way to prepare your drone for flying in the cold. I have flown in -10, I think, with the Mavic Air, and there wasn't any problem with that. The best thing you can do is to preheat your batteries so you don't get a battery error when you put your cold battery on your drone. That's the best thing you can do. Just keep them warm somewhere, maybe in your pocket or in your car. Keep them to about 20 degrees Celsius. I think that's the regular temperature of a battery. and then you can use it straight away. Otherwise you will get a shorter amount of flight time and you'll get lots and lots of warnings that your battery is cold, and that might make a serious problem for you and for the drone. Will DJI release the Phantom 5 before the end of the year? I definitely don't think so. I think they will release it in the first quarter of next year, maybe like February or March release. Of course, I'm just guessing here. I don't really know, but personally, I don't think they are going to release a drone so quickly after releasing the Mavic 2 series. And they don't really have to, so I think they will take their time. The next question we have is the color mode normal every time 8-bit, even if I take H.265? Well, yeah, unfortunately, if you're using the normal color profile, then you will be recording videos in 8-bit. If you're using the D-Log M or the HDR mode, you will record in 10-bit. The next question we have, best gimbal pitch speed for battery footage. I've made a specific video about this, so feel free to check that out, because it's not just about the gimbal. There are many factors you need to take into consideration, so I will link one of those videos in the description below. What do you think about the enterprise version of the Mavic 2? I really love it. I haven't made a video about this drone because it's an enterprise version and it's not really something that connects too much with my audience, but I really think it's a great way to push the drone community forward, but also save many lives when it comes to natural disasters and responding to those disasters. Right now we all know what is going on in California with those fires over there, and I think having such drone could be a huge advantage to anyone using it. So hopefully in the future we'll see many saved lives because of a drone like this. Now it's time to reply to some of my Instagram questions. Let's start with this one. What do you do with a broken drone? Water damage. The camera works, but I cannot fly it. Well, you can either use it as a gimbal and just carry it in your hand and use it for the stabilized footage, or you can just send it to DJI for repair. I think they are known for their pricey repairs, but if you really want to fly again, then consider repairing that drone or just use it as a gimbal. The next question, how to clean the Mavic Air or any other drone? Please give some tips. This is a funny question, but I don't really think there is any special cares you need to apply when you're cleaning your drone. Just make sure you're gentle and use some wet wipes maybe if you are dealing with lots of bugs. I personally, in the middle of the summer, I was experiencing lots and lots of flies on my camera and on the gimbal and on the front of the drone. So wet wipes do the job just fine. The next question we have, what is the best Wi-Fi frequency setting for the Mavic Air? Internet suggests 2.4 to be stronger. I actually don't really think there is such thing as the best Wi-Fi frequency, because the drone is going to adapt itself depending on your location. So it could be 2.4 in a specific area, it could be the best for this specific location, but if you switch to another location, it could be 5.8. So I wouldn't really advise you to keep switching between those two. I personally always leave the Wi-Fi frequency set to auto and let the drone pick for itself. The next question we have is, would you recommend the Phantom 4 Pro version 2.0? Oh yes, absolutely. I can highly recommend that drone. If you are not looking for extreme portability, then the Phantom 4 Pro is still the best drone that you can buy as a consumer, I think, from DJI. It has a lot more stability in the air. The sensor, the 1-inch sensor, works better than the Mavic 2 Pro, and generally I think you will have a much better drone experience overall with the Phantom 4 Pro version 2.0, simply because the Mavic 2 Pro is not exactly finished in my opinion. It simply lacks some features that are already present in the Phantom 4 Pro, and if portability is not an issue for you, then definitely go for it. And that's pretty much everything I have time for today, guys. Many of the questions started to repeat themselves and were questions that I already answered earlier. So I think that should do for now. I want to thank you for asking all of these questions. And I really think it's a great way to stay in touch with you guys as the channel is growing. So once again, thank you for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys very, very soon with another video. Bye bye.